String of great weather for us. First of a 4-game series. And the Seattle Mariners are ready to hit. Former Astros catcher Scott Servais, the skipper. He's put together their lineup. It begins with Norichika Aoki. Aoki is in left field. Seth Smith is the right fielder. Robinson Cano at second base. Nelson Cruz the DH. Kyle Seager at third base. Adam Lind at first. Chris Iannetta the catcher. Ketel Marte the shortstop. Leonis Martin the center fielder. Their pitcher is lefty Wade Miley, who's 2-2, and he pitched a shutout of Kansas City in his last start. Chris Davinsky's all set, and his third baseman Marwin Gonzalez is on the grass. Tyler White is also in tight at first base with Aoki, and the home plate umpire Laz Diaz not yet ready to go because we're still a minute before the 7:10 appointed starting time. But Davinsky's ready, Ash.
Yeah, and I can jump in with our player profile brought to you by BMW. Talking about Chris Davinsky, just his second major league start, 25 years of age, has proven his stuff as a reliever. Now can he settle in as one of the starters in this rotation, get a little deeper than the 5 innings of his last start, but good stuff.
Well, he's been made to wait about a minute, and now the clock has just changed to 7:10. That's the start time. He's been standing out there for a while. And he throws strike one. It didn't deter him from getting in front of Aoki, a .224 hitter with no homers, 6 runs batted in. 1 for 7 in that series in Seattle when the Mariners won 2 of 3 from Houston. That is off the plate, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Aoki.
A good looking pitch right there. Back-to-back heaters. See where this pitch winds up.
The next one is ball 2, and it's 2-1 to Aoki.
And that second pitch was actually in the strike zone, so yeah, he's putting it in a good spot to start the game.
Working very quickly, he evens the count at 2-2. The Mariners have won 6 series in a row.
You see that second pitch also was on the corner and above the knees.
Bouncer up the middle, on through into center field, a leadoff single for Aoki.
What a difference it can make as a pitcher if you can square up and feel that position. That just a one hopper as it went by the rubber on into center field.
The Mariners get the leadoff man on for Seth Smith. Smith has cranked out 4 homers. He's driven in 10 runs with a .271 batting average, 2 for 11 against the Astros in that series in Seattle. 33-year-old outfielder. Cano is on deck. The shift is on, and there's strike 1 to Smith. The Mariners have won 14 of their last 19. This is the first time since the 09 season that they've been above 500 this late in the season, and it's not very late. Scott Servais taking over. He has set a nice tone as their skipper. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Casey Candell, his first base coach, another former Astro, was saying before the game tonight that Scott really established in spring training that this was a fine opportunity, that the players were ready to do this year, and they came out fired up. He is their 6th manager in the last 10 years for Seattle. And a throw goes over to first.
You're ultimately at the mercy of the players. They've got to perform for you. And they've got some veterans, Robinson Cano, Nelson Cruz, guys that will drive the baseball, drive in runs. They have to then pitch and play defense, and they're doing it.
Smith fouls it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Scott Servais had not managed in professional baseball before he took this job. He had a good relationship with the general manager of the Mariners, Jerry Dipoto. They had been with the Angels together, Scott working in the minor league system there while Jerry was the general manager. Dipoto and Mike Scioscia got crosswise. Dipoto left and found this new home and reworked a lot of the Seattle roster, and it's working quite well for Scott Servais so far. Throw goes over to first. Scott broke in with the Astros in '91 and was here in Houston through a portion of the '95 season before moving on to the Cubs. Then he returned to play at the end of his career, 16 at-bats for the Astros in '01. He's from La Crosse, Wisconsin, and went to Creighton University. Runner going. Throw from Eric Kratz. Correa with a tag, and it's out. Pitch was ball 2. Kratz gunned him down.
Excellent throw. Eric Kratz can really throw, and he's quick from behind the plate, accurate, puts it all together right there to get a nice first out in this first inning. Watch the timing of the play, and just puts a nice throw up there where Correa can glove it, throw down that tag.
Caught stealing from 2 to 6. 1 out and a 2-2 count now on Smith. He taps it foul. Kratz now has thrown out 2 of 5 attempted base stealers. And that certainly helps Davinsky, gets him back in the windup. He races Aoki, who is now 2 for 6 in base stealing this year, and allows him to focus on Smith. It's a foul ball there.
See that fastball coming up to 93 miles an hour now for Davinsky, and it'll be fun to watch and see how he's able to carry that through the game as a starter.
Yes, it will. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes, and Davinsky said a few days ago he's had a chance now to focus on this start. He had been in the bullpen prior to his last start. Now he's known for 4 days that he was going to take this start, so went through the normal starters routine between starts. Strike 3 call, and that's out number 2.
Don't know if you were watching in the glove as Davinsky took the sign and started to the windup. All of a sudden, a shift of the hand. He turns to the changeup, and it just freezes Smith, and it'll freeze many hitters. Here now, the Super Bowl replay brought to you by Mattress Firm. And there's the reaction of so many hitters. In fact, the left-hand hitters, as is so often the case with a righty with a great changeup, lefties have been shut down.
2 down, and it's Robinson Cano off to a torrid start. Cano's on a 5-game hitting streak currently. He cracks one, and George Springer is there in right center field, playing him perfectly for out number 3. No runs, a hit, nobody left. The Astros come up against Wade Miley right after this. The Mariners fail to score. Orbit having a good time on Cinco de Mayo. As we check the Astros lineup, it's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Facing lefty Wade Miley, the Astros stack up this way. Jose Altuve second base. George Springer right field. Carlos Correa shortstop. Evan Gattis DH. Carlos Gomez center field. Marwin Gonzalez third base. Tyler White first base. Eric Kratz catcher. Jake Marisnick returning to the club tonight. Left field.
And on the mound, it's the lefty, veteran Wade Miley, a guy who came on the scene in the big leagues quite well. Coming up high in the voting for the Rookie of the Year some years back. 2-2 this year. .506, pitched very well his last time out. 0-2 over those last 3 starts, and you can see the ERA, not a good one.
It's been coming down. After a rough first 4 starts, Miley has gotten things together. Jose Altuve steps up, and he now has 21 extra base hits to lead the league and the majors. In fact, taking ball 1, Altuve has 8 homers, 13 doubles. 13 doubles leading the American League, and a .306 average. And he is 7 for 12 lifetime against Miley. 1 ball and 1 strike. Had a big series in Seattle. Altuve was 5 for 12 there with a homer and 2 runs batted in. And he has hit great in the first inning. Altuve with a drive to left field. He's done it again. Another leadoff homer for Jose Altuve. 2 in 2 games. His 6th leadoff homer of the season.
I don't know. Does this muscle man need to rethink his game and just swing it this way throughout ball games? He's showing in the first inning he can hit it anywhere out of the yard. And this was a big-time bomb up on the tracks. No doubt about it. He has become one of the genuine power sources in this game.
What a start. Strike 1 to George Springer. It's just been an incredible show put on by Altuve. Craig Biggio set the club record for leadoff homers in a season with 8 in 01. Altuve has 6, and it's May 5th. Springer fouls it away. No balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Bronny, it's really interesting to watch what Altuve is doing, because I think he's now starting to think in terms of really drive the baseball that first at bat, and you wonder what might happen if he went about all of his at bats in that same fashion.
It's been a show to watch. Springer went for it and struck out. Out number 1 for Miley.
Off-speed breaking ball, working down and in, and that bat just starts, and it's near impossible to hold it back.
Another note on Altuve, that was his 10th career leadoff homer. He's moved into 4th on the all-time Astro list for leadoff homers. Carlos Correa, who went deep last night, has 4 homers, 13 runs batted in, a .276 batting average. Like Altuve, he had 3 hits last night. Correa takes ball 1. He was 2 for 12 in the series in Seattle, driving in a couple.
For all who have questioned Jose Altuve as a leadoff guy, what do you think now?
Ooh. You think 1-0 when he gets in the box in the first inning.
Bet a lot of other teams are thinking that way.
He's become the first player since Alfonso Soriano, as you see strike 2, to have this many leadoff homers before the month of June. Soriano did it in 03 with 5, but now Altuve has made that little note obscure by hitting his 6th.
He doesn't get caught up in the whole thing in batting practice. Just continues to spray the ball around.
And that's 9 homers this season for Altuve. Seager at 3rd makes the throw to get Correa. 2 outs. Wade Miley is 2-0 in his career against Houston with a 2.63 ERA for 4 starts. This Seattle rotation has really had it going lately. King Felix Hernandez had a rough start yesterday, but they won 9-8. 2-11 for Evan Gattis, 1 homer, 6 runs batted in. He reaches for that one, and it's strike 1 to Gattis, DHing tonight. Gattis was 1 for 6 in the Minnesota series as the Astros took 2 of 3. It's 1-1 to Evan. He is 4 for 8 lifetime against Miley with an RBI. Mariners have been quite a road team. They're 11-4 away from Safeco Field. 2 balls and a strike. The batting average against the Mariners pitching staff when they're on the road this year is .211. To right field. Smith is waiting. Altuve with a leadoff bomb makes it 1-0 Houston after 1. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is presented by Lexus. The new 2016 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid. It's next level luxury. By Jack in the Box. Taste the Jumbo-licious Jumbo meal before it's gone. Only at Jack in the Box. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. There's strike 1 for Chris Davinsky. The Astros leading 1-0. As Nelson Cruz gets it going. 293, 5 homers, 16 runs batted in for Cruz, who's on a 3-game hitting streak. Well, he hit a bomb yesterday in Oakland. This one will be a can of corn for Carlos Gomez. 1 out.
Can of corn, long time saying in the game. Where did that ever come from?
It came supposedly from the old practice of shopping at the old-fashioned grocery stores when the corn cans would be up on the top shelf. And you'd have to give one of those long hooks and pull it down, right? And catch it on as it dropped into your lap. You weren't a part of that method of shopping, correct? 192 for Kyle Seager, 6 homers, 18 runs batted in. You had to really want that corn back in those days. It's ball 1 to Seager.
You want that corn. You need that corn.
We need you on that aisle, Ash. 1 ball and 1 strike to Seager. Fine young player who hit a homer against the Astros in that 3-game set, going 2 for 10 in Seattle. And he's another of the real mainstays on the Seattle club in the number 5 spot in the order. And the way they have this lineup grouped for Scott Service, lefty hitting Cano, righty Cruz, lefty Seager. That is a very potent 3-4-5 combination.
Got a brother that looks like he can play.
Yeah, a young shortstop with the Dodgers. He can play all right. Corey Seager. This liner goes foul. Kyle out in front there, and it's still a 1-2 count on Seager. Mariners club, of course, has every right to be enthused after going 76 and 86 a year ago. Finishing 12 games out of first in the AL West. Making a lot of changes over the winter. But Seager is one of those guys who's been counted on for years in this organization after being drafted high.
Oh, that's how you get that gig, huh?
That's it. You have to be able to make the one-handed play. Seager out to right center field, and that will split the gap, roll up on Towles Hill, go all the way to the top. Seager's headed for third base. Here's the long throw. It's offline. He has a stand-up triple. First triple of the year for Seager in a 6-game hitting streak.
That ball not far from being straight away to center field, but with the shift on in the outfield, this one finds a gap. Carlos Gomez loves to show off that arm. He didn't want any part of those cutoff men. Seager didn't want any part of a double.
Now that throw came all the way in from Gomez from on top of Towles Hill. Now it's Adam Lind with the shift on. Lind with 1 homer, 5 runs batted in, has hit .230. One of the newcomers for the M's this year. Bouncer, Davinsky works him back to third and gets the out. You talked earlier about how he falls back toward the first baseline, falls off toward the first baseline. He was able to reach back and stop that one.
Yeah, this one hit softer than the previous one we were talking about, and he might have had a shot for that out at third base, but in getting his second out right here, very key. You can see at that moment, it's only the fact that he doesn't really have a third baseman at the bag. Marwin was playing off the bag a little bit. That probably deterred him from throwing that way.
Now the veteran catcher Chris Iannetta. He's on a 4-game hitting streak. The Astros shift for him. Changeup is outside for ball 1. Iannetta with a .250 average, has 2 homers, 7 runs batted in, and he's hit lefties exceptionally well in the early part of the season. (2-0). Davinsky did not pitch when the Astros were in Seattle. His last start, that 2-0 loss at Oakland on Saturday, giving up 2 runs on 5 hits in 5 innings. He walked 3, and the walks amounted to trouble for him. Of course, he was up against a red-hot pitcher as well, Jesse Hahn, who shut out the Astros, but the middle of the lineup didn't do anything against him. And for a strike, and it's 3-1 to Iannetta.
Look at that, 3-0, and he turns to the changeup. That's the level of confidence that he has on that pitch. Our M.D. Anderson strike zone presented, and you see again the changeup, well spotted.
In the air, and here's the left fielder Marisnik coming in, but Altuve's calling for it. Davinsky gets out of runner third and 1-out trouble to lead 1-0.
Enjoying another gorgeous evening for baseball, and the Astros have a 1-0 lead. Kick off your weekends at Minute Maid Park. Every Friday night home game is followed by the best fireworks show in town. The next Friday night fireworks of the season is, of course, tomorrow. For more information, go to astros.com/fireworks or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. That'd be a great way to kick off Mother's Day weekend, guys.
Oh, yeah. Pino in the park. Ladies' night fireworks theme. We look forward to that one tomorrow night. Thanks, Bart. Carlos Gomez on a 3-game hitting streak has picked up the pace the last few days. A strike one to Gomez, a .227 hitter, no homers, 4 runs batted in.
There's that aggressive style, and when you start early, you just wind up pulling off.
1 ball, 1 strike. Well, last night he had a 2-run double in the win against the Twins. He has doubled in 3 consecutive games now.
That was the ground ball slow roller over the mound that hit second base.
That was a weird double.
Don't get many like that. Cherish it when you do.
So the last 3 games, 5 for 12. His average has come up 30 points since April 27th. And he missed 3 games prior to that with the rib cage soreness. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gonzalez and White to follow in the Houston second. Wade Miley, who's 29 years old, is not far from home. He's from Hammond, Louisiana, and went to Southeastern Louisiana. Drafted by Arizona in 08 with a sandwich pick. And they didn't get ham and cheese with that, but they got a left-hander who was 11-11 last year with Boston, a 4.46 ERA, and then came in a trade for Roenis Elias and Smith over the winter, and that was Carson Smith, a right-handed reliever. That's a strikeout. Iannetta throws out Gomez. Strikeout number 2 for Wade Miley.
Not sure why Adam Lind didn't have his foot on the bag down at first base and had to make a very quick tap, but you can see off speed again has Gomez fooled. Longtime first baseman Adam Lind.
Wade Miley versus Marwin Gonzalez next. At 185, Marwin has 1 homer, 3 runs batted in, trying to get it going after going 0 for his last 10. Last night, though, he drew a couple of walks and scored 2 runs. In for a strike. Marwin went 0 for 4 in the series in Seattle. As a right-handed batter, he has hit .273 this season, going 6 for 22. It's 0-2 very quickly for Miley. Miley's been working his fastball 53% of the time so far this season. The changeup 22% of the time. And then has a slider and a curve as well. That is strike 3 call and his 3rd punch out.
Miley likes to work quickly, and like Davinsky has a very good changeup, and he'll throw it in any count. And again, our Mattress Firm Super Mo, and it gives you some great shots of different plays.
There's not a bad shot either. Look at this ballpark on another gorgeous night. Tyler White at 221. Looks at strike 1. He has 5 hits in his last 57 at bats, 0 for his last 14. But after that torrid start, now trying to pick up the pace again. Laying off there, he goes to a 1 ball 1 strike count. Tyler was 1 for 7 in the series in Seattle. Eric Kratz is on deck. Breaking pitch gets a strike for Miley, and it's 1-2 for Wade. The Mariners brought a 1.5 game lead over Texas into play today. Second baseman Cano fields the 1 hopper, tosses out White. We go to the 3rd, 1-0 Houston.
As we move to the top of the third, and it's time for our Geico quote of the day, and it comes from Astros manager AT HOU talking about last night's 16-4 win.
I mean, I'll take as many of these as we can get. This was a nice outburst for our team. You know, this is a fun lineup when we get going like this. I thought I was so proud of our guys for not conceding any at bats tonight, and even as the game got underway, and we kept coming back at them. The big 3-run homer by Dozier. The game can swing back in any direction. I thought our guys hung in there and really did a good job of competing at the plate.
It was a fun night, and guys needed one of those fun nights last night, guys.
One they could really enjoy very quickly before turning their attention to this one. There's strike one on Marte. Ketel Marte, the young shortstop, looks at that one as well. Mariners very pleased with him. 1 ball, 1 strike on Marte. He fouls that one back.
You know, on those big nights like last night, it does a lot for individual players that you're counting on to do big things. And if you can boost their confidence with one night's performance, so be it. Think about Jason Castro and what it might have meant last night to have the night he had, and you hope it carries forward.
Inside a little bit. 2-2 to Marte.
Again, this changeup that Davinsky will throw time and time again. That's hard to tell. Could have been the curveball, but they both kind of act the same.
They're really about the same speed, aren't they?
Yeah, and they both have that big kind of downward arc.
Full count on Debo. And that's slashed on a line to left field, but Marisnick finds it easy for out number 1. Jake Marisnick just returned to the roster tonight. He had been at AAA Fresno for the required 10 days.
Just a nice quick barrel to the ball kind of a swing as he picked off that fastball on the 3-2. So we've seen Davinsky utilize the change and the fastball in that kind of a count.
So Marisnick back and starting in left field as he has returned. Leonis Martin showing bunt. And he did not go on appeal to Jeff Nelson at third base.
Did he need to? Where's this pitch?
Yeah, good point.
So now that's a ball, and I mean, I just don't get it. I don't understand what's going on with umpires.
Good point on that.
And I know what the umpire will say down on the field. Well, your catcher stood up. Well, if you look at it, the viewpoint is still there before Kratz gets up in front of the eyes at all. Just call the game.
Martin took a big cut. 1-2 on the former Texas Ranger. He's hitting 200 with 5 homers, 12 runs batted in. And he's played well in center field for the Mariners. Foul back. Another note on Marisnick, though, and he did get some at-bats in at AAA while he was there. So that's something he hadn't been able to do with a big league club. Colby Rasmus gets a rest tonight, which was needed. He's been grinding it for a while now since his last day off against the lefty. And so Michael Feliz was optioned back to AAA Fresno after the game last night to make room for Marisnick.
And I'm sure Michael Feliz was told, great job. You're now showing us what we need on this club, and you'll be back soon.
Sure. Struck him out. 2 punch outs for Chris Davinsky.
He turns to the change to get it done. Just gives you great arm speed. And hitters will swing at that arm speed right out in front of the baseball.
Nori Aoki is the batter. He opened the game with a single to center field, then he was thrown out trying to steal. In tight for ball 1. The Mariners are averaging 4.5 runs per game. And they are 16 and 11. They've really been consistent in the early going. They had a bump in the road early for Scott Service, but then their starting pitching has been putting together a lot of quality work lately.
I don't know that they can be expected to continue the pace they've played at on the road.
Yeah, 11-4, that's the best road record in the American League.
And yet you might argue on the other side, maybe they can play better at home than they have to this point. But I think the scales might balance a little bit.
Tell you what, that's a pretty good run to win 6 consecutive series as they have done. 2-2.
It's what teams talk about doing, and like you say, really tough to pull off.
Another hit up the middle for Aoki, and he is 2 for 2, both singles right back near second base, going on through into center.
Aoki's not going to be confused for Ichiro, but kind of an Ichiro-like swing right here, and just almost slow motion going through the strike zone, lays the barrel on the ball and finds a hole.
He's aboard for Smith. Smith struck out looking in the first inning. The relief pitching also has been airtight for the Mariners with a 2.31 relief ERA, second in the AL. Strike one to Smith. Now, they're a tough team to beat right now. They've won 14 of 19.
Watch the impact of that change again. Just waving out in front.
The Astros have some top caliber competition coming up. Cleveland coming in next week, and then they go on the road and meet Boston and the White Sox, 2 first-place clubs. Davinsky came from the White Sox in the Brett Myers trade. That was in July of 2012. Chris, 25 years old, from Cal State Fullerton. And did catch the corner with some good movement back toward the plate. 0-2.
Call was so delayed, I kept thinking, where on earth is this one going to go? But yeah, that's a great location.
Kratz held it right there, and it didn't move. Upstairs, and did he check? Yes. Jeff Nelson with the check swing call. It's 1-2.
Looks a bad start, but looks like good strong hands to hold it back. Or did he? Boy, that bat really gets out there to that front edge of the plate and maybe beyond.
So the Astros are seeing all 3 American League division leaders in a period of the next 2 weeks. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Astros currently trail the Mariners by 6.5 games. It's hard to win a 4-game series, but if they could do that, that would really make them feel a whole lot better as they approach that next stretch. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And an automatic running situation for Aoki here with 2 outs in the inning. Both these teams rely quite a bit on the long ball for their scoring. The Mariners are scoring 52% of their runs on homers. The Astros 46% of theirs. Cano's on deck. Runner going, and it's ball 4, and Cano will bat with 2 men on and 2 outs here in the 3rd.
Time now for our Ford spray chart. As we look at Chris Davinsky, he's been a reliever. He's made 1 previous start. And let's see what he's been doing with his fastball usage as a reliever, down under 45%. As a starter, he's bumped that up considerably, almost 53%. That last start, there you see some of the numbers. The changeup under 20%, a little bit more with the curveball, occasional slider. But it's primarily going to be that fastball that he uses more now as a starter, and the change in curveball.
Cano lined out to right center field where George Springer was stationed and is stationed again. He hit the first pitch in the first inning. Ground ball, diving White, unable to stop it. It's on through for a hit. A run will score. Springer will get it back in towards second, and it's tied 1-1 on the Cano RBI single. That gives Cano a 6-game hitting streak, and it's his 27th run batted in.
That's the 2nd straight at bat on the night that Cano has seen a fastball on the first pitch, and it looks like he's trying to jump on first pitches. So he gets the heater right here, doesn't destroy it, but finds a hole out of the reach of Tyler White. And I don't know, when you got a guy that's being aggressive, driving in a lot of runs for a club, don't know that you want to give him consistently first pitch fastballs.
Well, Cano strikes to tie it with hit number 4 for the M's. Nelson Cruz hit a ball into the upper deck in center field in Oakland yesterday. Very impressive, lengthy home run. He hit a fly ball to center his first time up in this game. That's ball 1 to Cruz. Cruz joined the Mariners last year, hit behind Cano, so that's a great 1-2 punch, but now they would seem to have more support. Out in front of a changeup, 1-1, but Cruz belted 44 long balls last season. That was second in the American League.
And again, that impact to the changeup. You'll have hitters just waving out in front all night long. And you can see that bat well over the pitch.
Line, and Springer moves back and right. Springer holds on. A gymnastic catch by George Springer, who has a gymnastics background, a forward roll, and a tremendous play by Springer.
Was tied up at 1 apiece, and it's time for our Chevy Stroh poll. And tonight we're asking you, what's the most exciting event in baseball? We got an example of each one. How about the no-hitter? Mike Byers threw one in August of last year. B would be the inside the park home run. Best one we can recall is Tim Bogart in the Dome in 1997. C would be the steal of home. How about Jonathan Villar? Did it in 2013. Or is it the Grand Slam? George Springer had one earlier this season against the Yankees. Head over to @RootSportsSW to vote in the Stroh poll now. Guys, back up to you.
Thank you, Bart. 1-1 game. Here's Eric Kratz. Strike one as he leads off the home third inning. 6 in a row have been set down by Wade Miley after the Altuve leadoff homer. Kratz is 1 for 19 with the Astros for an .053 batting average. Jason Castro really has it going against the lefty Miley. He gets the night off. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Or I might ask, Bart, is it that great defensive play that only certain athletes on the field can make, like George Springer? He is really something.
That was a special catch. Rocked on a line, that'll hook. Man, did that laser shot get to those seats in a hurry.
Eric Kratz has not had a lot of success, obviously, with the bat, but when he's hit it really hard, he has hooked it just a bit down that left field line. And this is just getting the head out too early. Ooh.
Seager. 1 down. And Jake Marisnick gets back into a major league batting box, batter's box for the first time in a while.
How do fans survive these things? Off the hand to the head, and then who knows what after that. His hand's hurting. How about the head? Got a pillow stuffed in that cap.
Strike one to Marisnick. Seager's in tied at third. Out of respect for Marisnick's bunting ability. Now he backs up a little bit. 185 for Jake at AAA Fresno with 1 RBI. Out to center field. Going back on him, Martin. 2 outs, and that's 8 straight set down by Miley.
Academy Sports and Outdoors and the Houston Astros are hitting home runs for Houston. How about Jose Altuve? He's hitting a bunch. League home run leaders, Jose Altuve and Robinson Cano, both second basemen tonight. Josh Donaldson, reigning MVP. Mark Trumbo has gone over to Baltimore, off to a terrific start. So Jose Altuve right there at the top.
He ripped a 1-1 pitch for a no-doubt homer, his 9th of the year in the first inning. Altuve takes ball 1.
Now my question is, once he has that leadoff home run, does he turn into the opposite field hitter? Not really sure.
Spins on that one and fouls it for a 1-1 count.
Actually had a pretty healthy swing right there.
Well, people are running out of superlatives to describe Altuve this season.
Look at the rise in the long ball for Jose Altuve in recent years. 2014, that's the batting champion year. 341, 7 homers. Last year bumps it to 15. Who knows where that number might wind up this year? He might lead off that many games with dingers.
A.J. Hinch said he's taken a giant leap forward with his pitch selection this year. Fouls it back. 2-2. It's been most impressive. His slugging percentage at the start of the night was .640, second best in the American League. And he still battles.
And he'll swing at that pitch, and we've seen him take down and away and drive it deep to right field, and he's just, in my book, a really good hitter. Vastly underrated in terms of the power game now.
3-2, and Miley's had to work hard here on Altuve. Another hit. 2 for 2 tonight. 9 for 14 against Miley.
You know, good hitters can hit. And the guy that comes to mind, Vladimir Guerrero, he could take anything inside, anything he could reach, and he would be as dangerous as anybody. And Altuve's becoming more and more that guy.
That's 36 hits for Altuve. This is the Astros' 29th game. He's 10 for 11 in steals. George Springer's the batter. He struck out in the first, and the throw goes to first. Pretty good balk move there by Wade Miley.
See the look on the face of Altuve. I think he was basically saying, wow, is that legit? We're going to allow that?
Manny Gonzalez is the umpire at first. Strike to Springer. Springer's hit .375 against left-handed pitching this year. Correa's on deck. After 16 runs last night, the Astros ranked 5th in runs scored in the American League. Terrific shot. That time there was a clear-cut step toward first by Miley.
I think pitchers, and in this case Miley, will get a read. They throw over one time, maybe you got away with a balk type move, and you can kind of sense from the umpire and the runner at first base the reaction. Maybe I better tone that move down a little bit.
And with the 5 pickoffs last season, obviously he generates a lot of respect on the part of base runners. Miley has 51 major league wins, 48 losses, a 3.99 career ERA. The plans are for the roof to remain open through Monday night.
Got some rain allegedly coming in early next week.
Yeah, we're hearing that. Springer lays off. 1-1 for George. Well, that catch he made, not only with 2 men on base, saving a possible multi-run inning, but just spectacular in its nature. Bouncer Miley. No runs, a hit, and a man left for the Astros. And after 3, it's 1-1. It's 1-1 after 3. As we check inside the box score, it's brought to you by Jack in the Box, showing you head-to-head at Minute Maid Park last year. And the Astros and Mariners played 10 times. Houston winning 7 with a much lower starter ERA, 4.17 to 8.34. There's a shot up the middle, flagged down by Correa, and he has robbed Kyle Seager.
Watch the reaction. Well, a little past that, but there have been some odd and tough plays for Carlos Correa to deal with in recent games. But he's such a unique talent. Good arm to back it up in the end. Watch as this ball goes by the mound, that bare hand reach. So many guys will do it. You don't want to make that contact.
Adam Lind comes up. That's ball 1 to Lind. He grounded back to the pitcher, Davinsky. Those were 2 very good plays back-to-back by Springer on Cruz in the last inning, and now Correa on Seager here. 1 ball, 1 strike. Late on that swing, Lind falls behind. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Adam Lindo has power in his resume. Hit 20 homers last year for Milwaukee. 2 balls, 2 strikes. for his career 167 major league homers for Lind, who's now 32 years old, from Muncie, Indiana. He went for that pitch and cranked it foul to keep the count at 2-2.
Lind's not really one of those household names around the game of Major League Baseball, and yet he's picked up a Silver Slugger award through the years.
He's hoping to give the Mariners their first productive first baseman since '09. Fouls it back. And he came from Milwaukee for 3 minor league pitchers.
Got another guy that's kind of pushing for attention over there. That's Dae-Ho Lee.
Yes, he is. He had a couple of home runs yesterday. Right-handed hitting first baseman from Korea. And a punch out for Devo. Number 3 of the night for Chris Davinsky. We go to Bart.
Thanks, Bill. Hey, if you're new to Houston and looking to get to know the city a little bit better, we can help you out with our Welcome to Houston package. We invite you to tour Minute Maid Park and enjoy an Astros game this Saturday. For tickets, go to astros.com/welcome to Houston or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Back to you, Brownie.
Well, this is Chamber of Commerce Welcome to Houston weather right here tonight. Nice breeze coming through the stadium. Chris Iannetta, the batter. He looks at ball 1. He popped a second earlier. We have had some clouds move in since the game started. Foul back, and it's 1-1.
I think it was the low pressure situation created by Altuve's leadoff bomb.
Yeah, that stirred up the atmosphere. Foul ball off the end of the bat makes it 1-2 on Iannetta. Iannetta began his career in the Rockies organization. They traded him to the Angels. He joined Seattle as a free agent. Very affordable free agent. $4.25 million with incentives. Struck him out looking. That's number 4 for Chris Davinsky in a 1-1 game in the 4th.
Got a nice 1-1 ball game here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Houston Methodist brings us our league leaders. Let's take a look about teams with on-base percentage. Top 4 lineup. Top 4 guys in the lineup we're talking about. And the Houston Astros are best in that regard in the league. The Boston Red Sox might be the best offensive club right now. But you can see some of those teams. Seattle best in home runs. The Astros, by the way, lead the league in walks, and that probably leads to that figure.
Certainly a contributing factor in a major way. Inside Minute Maid Park, it's 1-1. Carlos Correa batting in the home 4th. Taking strike 1. He grounded to 3rd in the 1st inning.
I will say prior to last night, 16 runs scored by the Astros. They were averaging just over 3.5 runs a game. So Swinging the bat certainly helped last night.
Yeah, their team batting average is .231 right now. It was .225 before the game last night. Miley has terrific career numbers against the Astros in 24 innings, 9 walks, 26 strikeouts. Coming into this game tonight, it's 2-1. He's not walked anybody. He's fanned 3 tonight. Gave up the leadoff homer to Altuve, then retired 8 in a row, a single to Altuve. Miley was an all-star with Arizona in 2012, second in Rookie of the Year, balloting that year, 16 and 11. Little roller to Miley. One out. Great night to sit out and enjoy. And we know tomorrow night with the fireworks coming after the game will be a special night for fans too.
I think that young lady made a wish on those teeth she seems to be missing.
Yeah.
Go out and see the Astros play.
Evan Gattis hit a fly ball to right. Marte takes extra time and gets him. 2 outs. Carlos Gomez struck out in the second inning. Now this pitching staff, even though Miley began the night with an ERA of 5.06, he just pitched a complete game shutout last time and has rounded into form. They have Taijuan Walker. He has a 1.80 ERA. The King Felix, 2.21 ERA. Iwakuma 4.03 in their rotation. They have really not had any weak spots. Nate Carnes, who pitched shutout ball against the Astros, 3-1 with a 3.81 ERA. And the Astros saw it firsthand in Seattle on their road trip when they came up against Carnes in the second game, 7 shutout innings. And in the first game, it was Walker with 7 innings of 1-run ball. We have a helicopter fly over here, Ash.
What is going on around the stadium with missiles flying out of here? We're going to check this out.
Gomez is down on strikes. After 4, it's 1-1. Astros baseball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, donating $100 for each Astros home run and $200 for each Correa home run to Houston Children's Charity. It's a 1-1 game moving to the 5th inning. Ketel Marte leading it off. He lined out to Jake Marisnick in left field on a 3-2 count in the 3rd inning. Marte's 22 years old. He's from the Dominican Republic. turns on that one and he hits it foul. Marte last year had 219 at bats for Seattle and spent the rest of the year at AAA Tacoma. That was his rookie year. And bounces, and it's 1-1.
There are times that you feel like the shortstop position is so tough to fill that there's just guys that play the defensive side of the game. But there are a number of really good shortstops right now.
Marisnik over, and he's running out of room. Tries to climb in the stands.
And I should have added young shortstops, guys that really seem like they're going to be a long time around for their clubs.
Well, there are so many outstanding multi-threat type shortstops. A guy like Marte gets lost to the shuffle, doesn't he?
He's got good tools, though. Jeff Blum and I were admiring his work up in Seattle last week.
Casey Candel's happy with him. Casey fields that ground ball there at first. Nice to have him back. Whoa, was he a fan favorite here as an Astro?
He was a teammate's favorite, too.
That was a crack foul.
He's a favorite of some hotline drives right now.
Scott Service hired Casey to be one of the minor league coaches when Scott was with the Texas Rangers organization. Wow. Strikeout number 5. That is devilish.
It didn't seem to matter how hard and in Davinsky tried to come on Marte. Marte was spinning and just yanking it hard foul. Then the changeup shows up, and that's the result. This cannot stay back.
Leonis Martin tries that little slug bunt, running up and chopping it.
Got to stay in the bat to pull that off. It actually looked like the left foot might have stepped outside of the box on the inside portion, but kind of a desperation attempt to get on base.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ash, because he should be out if he's up in front of the batter's box when he hits it. 0-2. Hard for the umpire to see that. Now with 2 strikes, they shift further, and it bounces. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tony Fernandez used to do that quite a bit, didn't he?
There have been some guys, I was trying to think, Bobby Meacham, is he the one I want to say, that used to walk around in the box? And
yeah.
Hey, far enough, you go.
2-2, but
come on, kid.
I think it was Tony Fernandez anyway. There have been a few players, they don't even try to square around and bunt it. They don't slide their hands up. They just kind of chop at it as they're running.
Yeah.
And if they hit a slow grounder to the left side, it's effectively a bunt-like hit.
Sometimes it looks like that's the normal stroke of Ichiro.
True. Little roller. Kratz will take it, and safe at first. It's a 1-out infield hit for Martin.
Nice effort by Kratz, coming out hard and calling off Davinsky. Just too much speed going up the line. Oh, that's a nice reaction by Davinsky to get out of the way. Tyler White really didn't extend his body with that stretch toward home plate. Kind of gets caught going toward second base a little bit. Does fall in that direction.
Now Aoki is 2 for 2, both singles to center field. Martin is 3 for 4 in steals. Does not have a big lead, but draws a throw. Davinsky has quick feet. The Mariners have 8 steals, and they've been caught 8 times. And another throw drives him back.
There's that play at first base, and another one of those bang bang plays. We've seen at least a few of those in recent games.
And for a strike. on Aoki.
Right there at the knees, and this time getting the call.
That almost got him. Pretty close.
Watch Tyler White throw this glove down. Left-hand first baseman, you're going to come up with that play. Right-hand first baseman, much more difficult. Keith Hernandez doesn't show up in every minor league system.
Popped up. Pratt's back behind the plate. 2 down.
Not sure why Eric Kratz would be asking for a new baseball at the end of that pop fly.
Can't come up with a reason.
There's no elevation rule that I'm not familiar with, is there?
No. Seth Smith is 0 for 1 with a walk. Indians 5, Tigers 3, bottom of the 8th inning in Cleveland. The Indians will be here next Monday through Wednesday. They're 12-12 now. Another throwaway. Oh! That's risky to go back in standing up.
You know, Tyler White is slapping the tag down and getting out of dodge very quickly. But if you hang in there these days and keep the glove on the base runner, we've seen at second base time and time again, guys come right up off the bag. And no, that's a good job staying down on the bag.
Yeah. But he could, you're right. Runner going. Kratz from his knees. Safe.
Wow, what a throw from the knees.
4th steal for Martin.
Taking no extra time there, Kratz just drops to the knees and unleashes a laser. He's a good-looking throwing catcher.
Well, Martin deserves credit. Astros did everything they could to prevent that steal, and he still got it. And with 2 outs, that puts him in scoring position with a 1-0 count on Smith. Smith looks at a strike that evens it at 1-1. The Mariners have played 5 series on the road this year, and they've won all 5. Another foul. It's 1-2. Yankees and Orioles have a dandy going, 0-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning. CC Sabathia was very good last night for the Yanks. Ball in and out of play for Marlon Gonzalez. Maybe. Oh, he almost got that. Good effort. Very good effort. Especially coming out of the shift.
Marlon comes quite close on this ball. Ooh, he did get leather on it, didn't he?
Mark Reed almost got more than leather on it. Almost hit him in the head. Good effort by Marwin. Still 1-2. Smith barely staying alive. Strike 3. No runs a hit and the man left. 6 punch outs for Chris Davinsky. 1-1.
Do you like baseball? Of course you do.
Tomorrow, raise your glass and cheer on the Astros at Pinot in the Park, presented by Houston Methodist. This event features a pregame wine tasting, healthy food pairings, and a stemless wine glass goes to the first 500 fans with an event ticket. To get those tickets, go to astros.com/Pinot or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Unfortunately, ladies, Marisnik won't actually be there. He'll be kind of busy at the time.
No, but you got to see him on the commercial.
Right. That counts for something.
Yeah.
I heard there was going to be a new most interesting man in the world.
Yeah, there he is.
That's him.
Oh, yeah, he's it. Ball 1-2. Marwin Gonzalez, who struck out looking in the second inning. That's great. 1-1 the count. Two Altuve hits. The only thing keeping Miley from a perfect game, but one was a leadoff homer in the first. The other is single in the third. 5 hits for Seattle. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's something about Miley in the first 4 starts of the season. He is pretty bad. First 4 starts of 2014, he had an ERA of 5.04. Last year in his first 4 starts, it was an 8.62 ERA. This year, 7.04. Wonder what he's doing in spring training to cause that.
I don't know about all that, but he's looked really good tonight. He's had a nice pace to his game.
Sure
and
has.
like Davinsky, that changeup is quite a large part of the arsenal.
It is. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Minnesota Twins were just here, as you know, and they have placed 2 pitchers on waivers tonight. Tommy Malone and Casey Feen.
That's what happens when you're not winning games.
Miley can't get to it. Here's Cano. No play there. Infield roller for a single for Marwin Gonzalez, snapping it 0 for 11.
So now he's got 1 line drive base hit under his belt and ready to start getting hot. Sometimes that's exactly what it takes.
Isn't it, though?
Just cue it.
Hit number 3 for the Astros.
Yeah, you stand there saying, yeah, I feel better now. There's something about that bat really straightened it out for me.
Tyler White grounded out earlier. He has hit lefties throughout his minor league career. There's ball 1. Caliber of lefties usually quite a lot better going to the big leagues. Eric Kratz is on deck. The Astros are 6-7 at Minute Maid Park this year. Good cut. 1-1. For the first time in history, 4 first-place teams are playing at the same time in the same city. Nationals and Cubs at Wrigley Field, Red Sox at White Sox. Ground ball, and Seager gets the out at second after a bobble. No out at first for the double play. Didn't handle it cleanly, or it should have been an easy double play for the M's. But no error can be given if there's an out on this force, as there is.
Yeah, that's intriguing about the stats, how that works, because, as you say, that should have been the routine double play.
Yeah, if you ask Kyle Seager, he will say, yeah, give me an error, even though the official score can't do it because I allowed a guy to reach. Well, he may not be begging for an error, but he'd say he should have started a double play, right?
Wade Miley wouldn't disagree with that at all.
Kratz hit a ground ball to Seager his first time up. No complaints, though, from the Mariners side about the way their club has played in any phase of the game so far this year. Foul away, there's strike 1. It's Taijuan Walker and Doug Fister. That's a 7-10 start. Nate Carnes and Dallas Keuchel with a rematch of their game in Seattle Saturday night at 6:10. Foul back, and Sunday a 1:10 start for Colin McHugh and Hisashi Iwakuma. The Astros have won 9 of their last 12 here at Minute Maid Park from the Mariners. 2 former Major League catchers, A.J. Hinch and Scott Servais, managing these clubs. And part of the new trend in hiring managers is bringing guys in from different situations who have not managed before in professional baseball. And Scott Servais, the latest to fit into that trend. 1-2 for Kratz. Tim Bogar is the bench coach. We saw that inside the park homer from the Astrodome from Tim Bogar.
And of course, Bogey has managed a bit in the major leagues. I thought he was the presumptive manager for the Texas Rangers prior to last season, but didn't work out that way.
Well, if you look real closely, the guy right there, and there's Tim Bogar, not the guy closest to the camera, but the guy on the other side, might be familiar to some of you. You didn't get a good look at him. Pete Harnisch, former Astro pitcher, is on the Seattle staff as a special assistant. There's a strikeout. That's number 5. Got a chance to talk with Pete before the game tonight. There's Pete. Right there.
Oh, yeah.
At one point, the ace of the staff here in the early 90s.
He could get into a game.
Oh, he was fun. Very aggressive, high energy guy. Marisnik smacks one to center field. Martin with the catch. No runs, a hit, and a man left through 5. It's 1-1. This moment in history is presented by M.D. Anderson. May 5th, Cinco de Mayo 2004. Roger Clemens passes Steve Carlton to become second on the all-time strikeout list behind Nolan Ryan. He fans Pittsburgh's Raul Mondesi for his 4,137th career day. Clemens also runs his season record to 6-0 with a 6-2 victory, and there you have it, his career resume. 7 Cy Young awards for the Rocket.
354 wins. I can't see it ever happening again.
No. Robinson Cano takes ball 1.
And 5-11 for Cy Young. Purely out of the question.
Sure it is. Cano has lined to right and singled to right to drive in the Mariners' run. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Chris Davinsky in a good matchup with Wade Miley tonight. He drops in the changeup to make it a 2-ball, 1-strike count on Cano.
Davinsky's done a nice job working into the 7th inning. Changeup has changed the tale here this evening for Seattle.
Flashed out into center field. Cano has hit the ball on the button all 3 times, and he has 2 singles to show for it.
I don't think I'd try to slip the fastball by Robinson Cano anymore tonight. If I bring it, it's going to be out of the strike zone. And now, to be fair, that fastball was up out of the zone.
Cano's aboard for Nelson Cruz, who's 0 for 2. He stung the ball, and Springer robbed him with 2 men on to end the Seattle 3rd. After Cano had sent their run home, Cruz has hit the ball in the air both times. Cruz has hit 84 homers the last 2 years, and off to a nice home run start this season. There's strike 1 to him. One of the consistent power hitters in the game. And last year, he led the majors in homers on the road with 27. Seattle's a tough place for home. 1-1. Whether it was Texas, Baltimore, or Seattle, Cruz has been an outstanding power hitter.
That ballpark has been made much more fair to the hitters in recent years.
And for a strike. 1-2.
Off speed, the curveball just drops it at the knees.
Ken Giles is getting loose for Houston. Cruz looks at ball 2. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Giles getting loose. 94 pitches into the game for Davinsky. In that last start against Oakland, he gave up a 2-run single to Billy Burns. Bouncer, and the shift is on. Altuve tracking it far to his left. Walls and gets him. He ate up some ground coming out of the shift, tracking the ball toward right field, and then with a spin move, he got it.
Ask yourself, as Altuve gets to this ball and spins, is he thinking about second base? Was there a glance in that direction? Hard to say, but I think if he did think about it, he just in the end said, I've got to make sure and get one out.
And it's out number 1, getting Cano to second base for Seager. Seager tripled up Tal's Hill in the 2nd inning and grounded to Correa, who robbed him in the 4th on a smash up the middle. Now Kratz goes out. First base open here. Adam Lind on deck. And also 95 pitches for Davinsky. This will give a little more time to the bullpen. A.J. Hinch has gotten a very good start from Chris Davinsky in this tight ball game, trying to see what he can get after Davinsky has had a 19-pitch 5th inning, but 27 in the 3rd. There's a strike. One thing the manager and pitching coach really focus on is, has he had back-to-back stressful innings this deep into the game? One ball and 1 strike. Davinsky moving into the rotation when Scott Feldman went to the bullpen, and that has been very good for the team. Feldman has pitched extremely well in relief. He worked a couple of perfect innings last night. Two balls and a strike. Max Stassi has begun his rehab assignment. He played last night for AAA Fresno. Out in front, Seager goes to a 2-2 count. By the way, the Astros have announced their minor league players of the month, and we'll get those to you as we move along. Danny Worth got the honors for AAA Fresno.
Good looking infielder, a guy that's been around.
Foul back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's at the 100 pitch mark now. In the air, and it's shallow center field. Gomez coming in. 2 down, we go to Bart.
Thanks, Bill. Hey, fans, join us at Minute Maid Park as we celebrate Medical Professionals Appreciation Night on Tuesday, May 10th. All fans with a Medical Professionals ticket will receive an Astros scrub top, which I'm sure they'll put to good use. For tickets, go to astros.com/medical or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. That'll be fun.
Yeah, will be. Got a ton of medical professionals in this city, as everybody knows. Now they meet at the mound. And we see about that 101 pitch mark for Chris Davinsky. With Brent Strom out there, how he's feeling. Adam Lind is coming up next. First base open, and then Iannetta, a right-handed batter, would be on deck. So they do have some leeway rather than giving in to Lind, who is 0 for 2 in this game. And it also buys a little bit more time for Ken Giles. Isn't it sometimes the message from the pitching coach in a situation like this, just get me one more out, just so he can focus?
It is. Yeah, it is. And sometimes in addition to that, this is your last man. Get him right now.
Allows him to just completely focus on that and nothing else. Change up, strike 1.
There are not a lot of pitchers who have a changeup that will time and time again induce that type of a weak swing.
Yeah. 3rd time through the order here. They've all seen it now. Flared, and it's toward the left field line. Marwin going for it. Marisnick there. Marisnick. Tremendous range. He gets over into that angle part of the wall for an outstanding catch. No runs ahead and a man left. It's 1-1.
Jose Altuve leading it off for the Astros in a 1-1 tie. And as if we don't have enough reasons to love this guy already, listen to this story, folks. Before tonight's game, Jose met a young fan named Dylan, one of his biggest fans. The young man has been diagnosed with terminal cancer. He asked Jose to hit a home run for him tonight, and in Ruthian fashion, he steps up to lead off the game and did just that for this young man. Just a sensational story, one more unbelievable story for Jose Altuve and that young fan, putting a big smile on his face when he needed it most, guys.
Great story, Bar. Didn't know that. There's a breaking pitch, strike one to Altuve, who's 2 for 2. And we look at that home run.
I cannot wait for the movie. Well, who needs a movie when you got this right in front of your face, up on the tracks?
1-1. Well, Carlos Correa had a similar encounter with a fan last year and delivered a home run after that. Swinging at a pitch a little bit out of the zone, Altuve falls behind 1-2.
That was not your flare to right field swing right there.
No. Hit number 3 for Altuve, and he's running hard. Our team gets to it. Altuve 3 for 3 tonight.
And I'll just add, there's nothing about going up there and taking one good hack after another that bothers me. Whether he's 3 for 3 or 0 for 3 tonight, he's going to do some damage taking these swings. And then it's no sure thing that he's going to settle for a single.
He gave himself every chance to advance, but Martin fielded it cleanly. George Springer is 0 for 2. A stolen base would be risky here on Miley. And it's ball 1. Danny Worth was the April Player of the Month for AAA Fresno. James Hoyt, Pitcher of the Month. He was 6 for 6 in saves. Alex Bregman, the Player of the Month for Corpus Christi. Joe Musgrove, Pitcher of the Month. Bregman just returned from a little hamstring injury. 2 balls, no strikes. 1-6-0 for the Mariners with 5 left. 1-4-0 for the Astros with 2 left. Springer looks at it. 3-0 to George. Edwin Encarnacion has driven in 6 runs for the Blue Jays against the Rangers tonight.
It's a lineup that has about at least 3 guys that can turn that kind of trick.
That's true. Good cut by Springer on 3-0.
Get a green light on 3-0. You know what the manager wants to see? That kind of swing. AJ's thinking, that's what I want to see. Bring that. Yeah, even point up there.
Carlos Correa's on deck. Springer takes the walk. First and second, nobody out. That's the first walk for Miley. Iannetta going out. Correa moving into the batter's box. He's 0 for 2.
Carlos Correa came up with big swings last night, and it's one of those opportunities right now. Like that swing on the 3-0 for George Springer. Get yourself some good hacks.
Ash, what was that we saw on Twitter about this being Astronaut Day or something?
Well, how about that? It's May 5th, and you don't really think about this, but this is Carlos Correa yesterday and some of those great hacks I was talking about, and you do it in big scenarios where you can drive in runs, but that's what Carlos Correa has. He has an ability that's beyond what most guys that ever play this game can say they can bring, and so you want to see those good swings. But yeah, to your point, Brownie, Astronaut Day, celebrating our first man in space, Alan Shepard, May 5th of 1961. Christopher Kane brought us that one, and yeah, pretty good memory for a lot of us.
You bet. Correa's bounced out twice. Strike 1 for Miley. Got a question on Twitter about why Paul Molitor was tossed out last night. Well, his pitcher had just been thrown out, so he was upset about that. In the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is far from being similar to last night's game, which the Astros won 16-4. Now a real dogfight. Tough game to advance base by base. Up the middle, Cano steps on second, throws to first, double play. Altuve to third.
Last night the Gomez ball hit second base. A double resulted. This one kicks conveniently over the bag, and Cano with the easy double play. And now you got to come up with one of those 2-out hits to get the job done. Well, that submarine throw by Cano will drop guys coming into the bag in the most extreme fashion.
Evan Gattis fouls it for strike 1. He's flying to right, grounded to shortstop. One and one. Two balls, 1 strike. Who's the extra voice in the booth tonight, Ash?
No, I replied back, I'm wondering if they're talking about Bart Ennis, who we love having around.
Liner to left. Altuve will score the go-ahead run on an RBI single by Gattis. 7th run batted in for Evan Gattis.
There you go. There's one of your 2-out situations with a man in scoring position, and Evan Gattis did a grab hold of a bull right onto the horns. And Altuve got it all kick-started once again.
Right after the double play ball, Gattis came through with an awfully big hit. Carlos Gomez, he struck out both times. Big cut there, and it's strike 1. That is such a lift after that double play for Gattis to come through. Players talk all the time about 2-out hits that drive in go-ahead runs, and you just saw one. The inning started in such a promising fashion. Altuve single, Springer walk, and then the double play was deflating, but now the Astros have scored, and with the foul tip it goes to 1 and 2 on Gomez as they look for more. Ken Giles continues to work in the bullpen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Davinsky has thrown 103 pitches. Three balls, 2 strikes.
It's a pretty good looking rotation Seattle throws at you.
It really is. Two outs. Gattis will be going on the pitch. He's not very far off first base. Lynn is playing a step off the bag. Gonzalez on deck. Ball 4. Gomez works a walk. Only his 3rd of the year. And Gonzalez comes up. 2 walks in the inning for Miley after having none all night. Stottlemyre Jr., the pitching coach. He's a former Astro farmhand, and his dad was former Astro pitching coach. Well, they swept the slate clean, I believe, on the coaching staff, and Mike Hampton is among the newcomers for the Mariners. He is the bullpen coach. Got a chance to see Mike before the game tonight. Andy Van Slyke was one of those coaches who left, and he didn't have any good words about Robinson Cano, but those who are here have said, hey, Robinson was playing hurt all last year. And he hit well over 300 with power after the All-Star break.
I think it's probably style of play that can get under people's skin.
Gonzalez 1 for 2 in infield hit, and he takes strike one. Michael Guipe is warming up in the bullpen. 25 homers, all solo for Marwin. Tyler White's on deck. A nice 2-out single would work, though. In the air to left center field for Martin. And the Astros get the go-ahead run on 2 hits and leave 2. They lead it 2-1.
To you by Jimmy Johns. We're talking defense tonight. Take a look at the work by Eric Kratz. A perfect throw to nail a runner back in the first inning. We've seen plays by Carlos Correa along the way and getting big outs. How about this gem by George Springer? And I mean, that was one very tough play and huge in the game, keeping runs off the board. Jose Altuve with the spinning 360 play. So it's been a lot of great defense tonight. Tight game, 2-1, Astros on top.
Ken Childs is in the game. He's 0-2 with a 7.94 ERA. Has 2 straight hitless appearances against Minnesota. And now he'll move in with a 1-run lead. As the 7th inning arrives, it's Chris Iannetta batting. Iannetta's 0 for 2. Shift is on. And the slider dips low, ball 1. Davinsky threw 103 pitches, 67 were strikes. 6 innings, allowing 6 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 6 punch-outs for Chris Davinsky in an outstanding game. That floats in, and it's a ball to make it 2-0 for Giles. Marte and Martin are due to follow.
You know, obviously there are a number of things that can happen, but what can't happen is to walk that first man you face coming in. Come in with a 2-1 game, the 1-run lead. You must make sure you don't walk that man.
Giles got strike 1 there. He pitched in one of the games in Seattle, 1 scoreless inning in an Astros 7-4 win. Now it's 3 balls and a strike. Astros relievers lately have been awfully good. Marte will be next. And there is that leadoff walk. Ionetta's aboard. Second walk of the night for Houston pitching. Marte line to left, and he struck out. He has Marlon Gonzalez in on the grass at third. Double play depth for Correa and Altuve. At strike one, Tony Sipp is warming up for the Astros. And getting ready probably for the lefty hitting Aoki and Smith, along with Cano, the top three hitters in the Seattle lineup, all bad left-handed. One ball and one strike. And rough sledding for Ken Giles right out of the chute. Struggled in spring training. And he's allowed 4 home runs in the early going this season. Gave up runs in his first 2 outings against the Yankees, and then 3 of his first 4. Took a loss here to Kansas City in that series. But lately, his last 2 times against the Twins, earlier this week, he pitched hitless ball in both of those. He had a hitless inning on Monday, and then Tuesday he got 1 batter with a 2-run lead in the 6th inning. Slider has looked better recently. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Hey, far enough right here. Okay.
It's been somewhat mystifying even to Ken Giles himself, and he's talked about mechanics, trying to get his hands separated at the right time. Joel Peralta warming up for Seattle. Chopped off the plate. Tyler White tries to get back, can't get him. Infield hit for the speedy Marte, and runners are at first and second with nobody out.
Talk about no man's land for Tyler White. He tried to charge this ball as best as possible. Could Ken Giles get there? Maybe a hair late leaving the mound, and Tyler just has no option. Unless possibly he fields that ball to his other side of the body and is able to cut off Marte.
Yeah, ball would not have rolled foul, would it?
Don't believe so. I wouldn't take that chance.
Sure. Now a possible bunt situation for Martin. He reached on an infield hit in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 2. Corner infielders are in on the grass. He bunts it foul. There's strike 1 with Ionetta, the catcher, running at second. If the Astros get the right situation, they can get a force out at third.
Yeah, that's a great point. If you can get that lead out on the bunt attempt, boy, you have foiled everything Seattle wants to do right here.
Aoki on deck. But if Martin bunts it to the third baseman, that won't happen. Foul ball.
By the way, all that ball has to do is be sitting over some part of home plate right there. Home plate is in fair territory. Where is this ball when grabbed? And certainly it was behind the plate. But again, if that ball's sitting over any part of home plate, that's a fair ball.
That's why Kratz tried to get to it quickly before it was behind the plate. The ball's 2 strikes on Martin. Oh, that one low-bridged him. 9-2.
The inconsistency of pitches at times for Giles is disconcerting.
Martin came in a trade from Texas back in November. He hit only .219 for the Rangers last year. Wants it out to Giles. Giles to third. Gets the force play. And with 2 strikes, he did not try for the precision bunt. Bunted it right back to the pitcher, who found the short throw to third to be relatively easy for out number 1.
That's a fantastic play. Marwin has to react and get back to the bag. He reacts perfectly. Ken Giles does the same. And you get that lead out. So it just changes all the dynamic of the inning.
Tony Sipp will come in with runners at first and second and 1 out. It'll be Aoki batting when we come back with the score 2-1 Houston. Lead Seattle, and it's time for Diamond Kings, brought to you by Texas Auto. We look at the career of Jeff Bagwell.
As good as they came, and what a first baseman to go with it. Rookie of the year in 1991, 15 years in the big leagues. He's a career 300-plus hitter. 3-time Silver Slugger winner, 4-time All-Star. What were the voters thinking in some of those other years? Almost 450 home runs. And he's done it all, and you find his name amongst some of the game's greats through the years in a number of categories. Jeff Bagwell, as great as they came.
Tony Sipp's in the game. He's 0-1 with an ERA of 5. Lefties are hitting .333 against him. He's allowed runs in 2 of his last 3 appearances. Runners at first and second, 1 out. Aoki is 2 for 3 in this game. Sipp has had a few days off since pitching in Oakland in the 2-1 win. His first pitch, strike 1. Pat Neshek working in the bullpen now. Sipp has retired 10 of 12 first batters. He has inherited 5 runners, allowing none to score.
That leadoff walk in the inning just sets up a real grinder inning.
Turn back towards second, and Speedy Marte will get back. Excellent speed at both second and first for the Mariners. Aoki hitting .206 against lefties this year. Trying to reach for Seth Smith. Steps back off the rubber with Kratz going out.
It really feels like indecision to me right there, and I think Eric Kratz felt the very same thing. Just maybe not settling in on the pitch that Sipp was comfortable with.
Neshek warms up. Sipp delivers the ball, and it's 1-0.
I don't know. This ball inside? Nope. Can't miss that stuff. What a difference 1-1 versus 0-2 right here.
Yes. Now 2 balls and a strike to Aoki. Three-one, and Smith is waiting.
Almost that same scenario for Tony Sipp that I was talking about with Ken Giles. Can't come in out of that bullpen and walk the first man you face. A left-handed bat at the plate that is the reason you were brought in the game.
Strike. 3-2. Aoki was heading for first.
Well, he'd already been given one off the inside edge. See what this one looks like.
Aoki has walked a dozen times this year. Big pitch coming in this 2-1 game in the 7th. 2 on, 1 out. Ball 4 loads the bases for Smith. Now, 2 walks in the inning by Astros relievers have them in trouble, and Smith is 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. .328 with the bases loaded for his career. 0 for 1 this season. The shift is on. Correa is positioned up the middle. Cano's on deck. Smith hitless in 5 at bats against southpaws so far. Ball 1. Cubs lead the Nationals 2-0 in the bottom of the 7th at Wrigley. The Cubs are 20-6. The Nationals are 19-8. But John Lester yesterday throwing the ball and glove together over to first base to get an out.
It's one of those plays you see about every 2 or 3 years somewhere around the big leagues.
He has a serious issue with his throwing, so he just decided to eliminate the throw and toss the glove with the ball in it to first base.
He's much more accurate with glove.
He's done that a couple of times. At least he's figured out how to make it work for him. Kyle Hendricks started tonight for the Cubs. He went 6.
Yeah, if the ball doesn't on its own lodge in the glove, you go ahead and jam it in there and then toss the glove over.
Two and 0 now to Smith. Tony Sipp needs to come up with a pitch here. Red Sox 4, White Sox 2, bottom of the 5th in Chicago. In for a strike. 2-1.
That was fairly gutsy right there. 2-0 coming with the slider.
It was.
And he just kind of tried to gut shot it in there, just loop it in, which is perfectly fine. You got a hitter sitting dead red or taking all the way.
Now it's 2-2. Yeah, he got him in swing mode.
Yep.
When he got that first strike, Ash.
Exactly right. The heater comes alive right there, maybe out of the strike zone, and you get the swing.
Now 2-2. Fans are into it for Tony Sipp. Smith steps away. Smith is a former quarterback at the University of Mississippi. Smash into right field. Marte scores. Now Martin scores, and it's 3-2 Seattle on the 2-run single by Smith. Aoki to third.
Yeah, this is a tough inning to take. And this bullpen has been so much better recently, and all of a sudden lets you down, and it's about the walks. This is the only hit in the inning that's gotten past the infield.
Well, the book is closed on Ken Giles, who went 1/3 of an inning, allowing 1 hit, 2 runs with 1 walk and no strikeouts. Robinson Cano with runners at first and third comes up with 1 out in the inning, and he is 2 for 3 tonight with an RBI. Cano looks at ball 1 with Nelson Cruz on deck. 3 runs on 8 hits for Seattle, 2 runs on 5 hits for Houston, 6 for 13 against Sip. He drove in 10 runs against the Astros in that 3-game series in Seattle. Altuve hurrying, flips it. Correa fires it. It's a double play. But the Mariners grab the lead, coming up with 2 runs on 2 hits and leaving a man in the middle of the 7th. It's 3-2 Seattle.
Lead here, but that's not stopping the fans from enjoying a little 7th inning stretch here at Minute Maid Park. And it's time to announce the winner in our Chevy Stroh poll. We asked you what's the most exciting event in baseball, and by a wide margin you said the no-hitter by 52%. The Grand Slam coming in second with 25%. And we've only had one of those here at Minute Maid Park, and it came last year as Mike Fiers got the job done. You love the no-hitters? Well, you really love this one as he set the Dodgers down without a hit. Astros win the game, the highlight of Fiers' career for sure, and apparently you all loved it too. 52% love the no-hitter. We all love the no-hitter when the Astros throw it. We've seen some great ones with this franchise over the years, guys.
Yeah, it's been a terrific franchise for no-hitters. But nobody had done it at Minute Maid until he came along. Now it's Joel Peralta, a 1-0 record with a 2.25 ERA belonging to Peralta. He comes in with a 3-2 lead in the home 7th.
on that no-hitter theme. It just builds with each pitch, each out, and comes to that final moment that is as large as anything you can name in a regular game.
Tyler White is 0 for 2. Jason Castro's on deck to pinch hit for Eric Kratz next. Peralta takes over for Wade Miley and throws ball 1. Miley in 6 innings allowed 5 hits, 2 runs. He walked 2, fanned 5, and he is in line for his 3rd win of the season. The bullpen has been really good with a 2.22 ERA for Seattle, 2nd best in the American League. 6 wins and 2 losses. Peralta, the well-traveled veteran, spins one up there, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count from the 39-year-old from the Dominican.
I don't think Tyler White liked this call.
You can see why.
Maybe good reason, huh?
Not too many hitters would. Peralta had to love it. Preston Tucker now comes out to the on-deck circle. A moment ago, Jason Castro was in that on-deck circle. It's 1-2.
That swing right there by Tyler White more resembled what we were seeing in the first week and a half of the season. Looked like he was driving toward right center field.
Yes. Peralta has been around for 11 years with 6 different teams. He signed as a free agent with the Seattle club in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He was with Tampa Bay. Made 69 appearances with the Rays. He got a hold against the Astros in a game in Seattle April 25th. Gave up 2 hits and 1 run in 1 inning. He came in with a 2-run lead in the 8th inning. George Springer doubled, and Carlos Correa had an RBI single off Peralta. Line into left field. White is digging. Coming over for it. Aoki backhanding. Here's White for second base. Aoki's throw. Not in time. Hustling double for White. That is big.
Is it ever? And talking about the earlier swing, looked like he stayed on the pitch, trying to maybe go toward right field. At least that's what the body said. And then he gets off speed and gets out in front and yanks it down the line. Welcome back, Tyler White. And the leg portion, not too shabby either. Don't do that bounce coming up. Just stay there.
5th double for White. Oh, yeah.
Watch the bounce. Be careful about that.
Now it's Preston Tucker. Pinch hitting for Eric Kratz, who was 0 for 2. Jason Castro comes back out to the on-deck circle with Marisnick due up next. No activity in the Seattle bullpen. There's strike 1 to Preston. Tucker, 207 hitter with 3 homers, 4 runs batted in. He's had 58 at-bats. In his career, he's 4 for 20 with 2 homers pinch hitting. 1 for 7 this season pinch hitting. He hit both those pinch homers last year.
I wonder in this sequencing of Tucker then Castro, if Castro's propensity to hit to left field might factor in.
Interesting point. That could very well be playing into the mind of A.J. Hinch, because earlier Castro was out to make this at bat. Tucker looks at it. 1-1. Will Harris is warming up for Houston. Tucker's been getting quite a bit of playing time recently. He went 2 for 7 with a homer in that Minnesota series. Started last night at DH and had a hit. In for a strike, 1-2. He had a picture book swing on that home run he hit Monday night.
How are the calls working this inning? See on that curveball, yeah, that's in there.
Right-hander Nick Vincent is starting to tune it up for the Mariners. Their bullpen has had a 1.53 ERA since April 13th. They had some rough sledding out of the gate this year. Tucker's down on strikes, 1 out. Now Castro pinch hits for Marisnik.
Tucker just gets out in front on off speed. We've seen so much of the off speed tonight. Very impactful in this game.
Jason Castro has been swinging one of the best bats for the Astros recently. His batting average at .210 after going 5 for 9 with 2 homers and 5 runs batted in the last 3 games. And both those home runs have been to the Landry's Crawford boxes as he's had that opposite field stroke going. First pinch hit at bat for Castro this season. 6-game hitting streak, 8 for 20. And it's ball 1. And Castro has been working really hard to do some things differently, and they've been working well at the plate. He's hit 2 homers and 2 doubles and drawn 9 walks in his last 9 games. So obviously seeing the ball well, and we talked about hitting it hard the opposite way. That's something that has finally gelled for him this season recently.
Yeah, putting the barrel on it, going back up the middle and to left field. And obviously Jason to left field has plenty of pop to get to those boxes.
One and one. Sounds as if he might be letting the ball travel a little bit deeper. And when a hitter does that and can really trust himself to time the fastball that way, it could produce some really good results.
I think that's exactly right, and I think it actually sets Castro up pretty in a good spot anyway here against a guy who relies on the off speed a good deal.
Takes that one for ball 2. Well, with all the walks he's been drawing, his on-base average a very respectable 347 right now. He has 13 walks for the season in 25 games. And the Astros as a team have walked a lot. They lead the American League. Altuve on deck. Pull foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. White is drawing a little attention from Peralta.
Yeah, because he's likely to run.
Steve Cishek is the new closer for the Mariners this year. Now full count. The Mariners went through 27 losses last season, with their opponent scoring the winning run in its final at bat. They are 9 for 12 in saves so far this time around. Castro takes the walk. Bart?
Thanks, Bill. Earlier in the broadcast, we told you in our Playing to Win segment brought to you by Toyota Tundra that these are the top 2 home run hitting teams in the American League. Seattle with 38, Astros with 37 coming in. Well, that leadoff home run by Jose Altuve to start this game ties the score at 38 between these two teams, but it's the only one hit so far in this game. I'm pretty sure Astros fans would take another one right about now.
From Mr. Altuve. Scott Service is out to make a change. We'll be right back with a score of 3-2 Seattle.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Houston Astros, LLC, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Houston Astros, LLC.
3-2 lead for Seattle. Another bullpen move for Scott Service brings in right-hander Nick Vincent here at Minute Maid Park. In the bottom of the 7th inning with White at second, Castro at first and 1 out. Vincent in 11 games has a 1.74 ERA.
29-year-old, and he averages right around 90 miles per hour, so he's not going to overpower anybody at this point.
Moving from the Padres to Seattle at the end of March, he's brought that 28-year-old arm to the bullpen and comes in here with the 1-run lead to face Jose Altuve, who's 3 for 3 tonight. A homer and 2 singles. Vincent had a hitless outing against the Astros in Seattle April 27th. George Springer on deck with 1 out and 2 on. Altuve leans back from it, and Vincent falls behind him 1-0. Altuve hit a leadoff homer and then a single in the 3rd, another single in the 6th inning.
All aggressive at bats, good big swings, and don't change a thing now.
One and 1 to Altuve.
That's a good layoff right there. Tough little slider.
Vincent came in at Oakland 3 days ago in his most recent outing and retired both the batters he faced, grounding a runner at second base. 1-2.
There you go. There's the swing you want. And you're not going to hit it every time, but look at the effort on the swing. That is not trying to hit an infield chopper. That's trying to drive something.
Vincent went to Cal State Long Beach, was drafted by the Padres in the 18th round in 08. Last season he pitched 63 times for San Diego. Had 20 holds. Outside, and it's 2-2. White and Castro are the base runners. Altuve to center field. Martin backing. Martin up on Tails Hill. That's a bomb. That's going to score White with a tying run. Here's a throw to the plate on Castro. It's there early, and he is out. Altuve to third base. He really unloaded. 400 and some odd feet away. His fourth straight hit to tie the game, but Castro was out at the plate. And now Altuve standing on third.
This ballpark and Comerica in Detroit might be the yards that'll hold this ball. But I mean, this ball is destroyed. And I was talking about the great swings he's taking, and don't change a thing, he didn't. And that's how you drive in runs. That was a very risky send right there. Something had to go wrong in order for Castro to be able to score.
8-6-2 play. And A.J. Hinch is out to talk with Laz Diaz, the home plate umpire.
The only thing I can imagine here is, was there a blocking of the plate going on? And we'll take our peek at it. But remember, that rule says you can't block the plate without the ball. So, is the ball in the glove of the catcher enabling the catcher to block the plate? And based on the rule, I would say yes. I wouldn't say there's an infraction there.
Now A.J. comes back with more discussion for Laz Diaz and the crew chief Jeff Nelson there. If the throw takes the catcher into the baseline, he's allowed to do what Iannetta did.
Well, again, that wording of the rule leaves me feeling like if you've got the ball, you can go ahead and block it. But that could be a misinterpretation on my part, but that's the wording that I have understood all along.
Catchers are schooled now, since the rule change, Buster Posey rule they call it, to take that throw out in front of the plate. That's what Iannetta did. And Jeff Nelson is on the headset with New York. Altuve winds up with his fourth straight hit in this game, a double. That's his 14th double for the league leader. And takes third on the throw to the plate. And what a throw it was from Marte on that 8-6-2 play to Iannetta. I
wonder if Jose Altuve is learning some things about himself right now.
And the out call stands.
Yeah, I didn't see an infraction based on the rule as I understand it at home plate. But again, a risky send on that play.
Now George Springer will bat with 2 outs and Altuve at third. Springer's 0 for 2 with a walk. Altuve with 23 extra base hits is the major league leader. He now has 14 doubles. It took 1 minute and 2 seconds to review that play at the plate. And now Springer, who was struck out, grounded to the pitcher and walked, will try to give the Astros the lead again. Strike one. That looked like it had some cutting action away from Springer's swing. Vincent deals the fastball, the cutter, and the changeup. It's 1-1.
Tight little cut job he has.
It really is. Carlos Correa is on deck here in the 7th inning of an outstanding game tonight at Minute Maid Park. Springer patiently works the count his way at 2-1. Joel Peralta in 1/3 of an inning allowed 1 hit, 1 run with 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Eight hits for the Mariners, 7 for the Astros. No errors in the game tonight. Ooh. 2-2.
Bottom of the knees. On our strike zone, it would appear to be.
Springer 3 for 13 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. That was a tough pitch. Now full count for George.
This is the kind of guy you would like to kind of, especially with 2 strikes, focus toward right center so you stay on that cutter.
To right center field for Martin to end the Astros 7th inning. They get the tying run home on 2 hits. They leave a man at third, and it's 3-3 after 7.
Where the Astros have tied it up 3 apiece. Hey, this Saturday, join us in Keuchel's Corner, presented by Houston Methodist, to show your support for our Cy Young Award-winning pitcher, Dallas Keuchel. With this package, you get a ticket, a beard, and a Keuchel's Corner t-shirt. For more information, go to astros.com/Keuchel's Corner or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. We got a new pitcher on the mound. For more on that, let's go back up to Bill Brown.
Will Harris, and he comes into this game with the score tied to work the 8th inning. And he has been something lately, Ash.
Oh, he's been dynamite out of the bullpen. The numbers will tell you that. That whip well under the 1 mark. ERA as well. He's 0-1. How did he lose a ball game with the set of numbers that he's putting up there? But 11 straight shutout appearances now for Will Harris.
Covering 11 1/3 innings pitched. Nelson Cruz is in the box. He's 0 for 3. Shift is on. Ball 1 for Will Harris, who has impressed his manager A.J. Hinch so much. He does it without any kind of theatrics. Not too many words have to be said, but what a workmanlike job. A.J. said he just calmly takes the baseball. Whatever role he's in, he executes extremely well, and there's not too much celebration about it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Old school.
Or fuss when the role may not be exactly what a particular pitcher might think he should be in.
Yeah. Kyle Seager's on deck. And for a strike. 1 and 2.
And Nelson Cruz does not like this call. Curveball over the top, and it bends downward, and that number 2 pitch, the earlier strike, really not even close. This one, pretty close.
He's 1 for 7 against Harris.
Get a portion of that baseball to touch the strike zone. You got to strike.
Well, he's had his say with Laz Diaz. Now back in with a 1-2 count. Two balls, 2 strikes. Battle of the bullpens here. Tony Sipp in 2/3 of an inning, allowed 1 hit, no runs, had 1 walk, no strikeouts. Foul back.
Harris rushing that fastball up to 94.
Last year, Harris threw 71 innings. That was 4th among relievers in the American League. The Astros have Correa, Gaddis, and Gomez due up in the bottom of the inning. Tucker has stayed in to play left field. Castro has stayed in to catch after both pinch hit. Bouncer in the shift puts Altuve right there. 1 out. It's always a big out with Cruz batting in a tie game. They're ready for some good things to happen in the late frames. Hoping for a couple more outs here from Will Harris. Seager's the batter. He has a triple in 3 at bats. Adam Lind on deck. Harris has been excellent against left-handed hitters. This season, lefties are 5 for 24 against him for a 208 average. Last year, it was even worse than that. 129 for left-handed hitters against Harris. Sharply hit by a diving Altuve. A single into right for Seager. He's 2 for 4 tonight.
Altuve is not satisfied unless he makes every play that he believes he should make. And you have to love the attitude. This ball was hit very sharply. And Jose just misses. Does that edge of the grass there at the dirt impact that play at all? Boy, he's a competitor.
Yeah.
I want that guy on my team. I'll guarantee him.
You know it. And the All-Stars want that guy on their team. Adam Lind is 0 for 3. Off the plate, charge. Marlon Gonzalez, tough play here, and a good throw to Tyler White. He had to come a long way and then make a steady pickup without a bobble.
Well, he's got an ability with his arm. Number one, he's got a great throwing arm, maybe best on the team. And number two, to come right up over the top and accurately throw, much like Carlos Correa. Very well done.
And now, with a runner at second, first base open, Iannetta's the batter. Iannetta is 0 for 2 with a walk. 3-9-0 for Seattle, 3-7-0 for Houston. Nobody currently throwing in the bullpen for the Mariners. Curveball's top foul. There is strike one. 20,151 the paid attendance at Minute Maid Park.
There's no intensity lacking in this game tonight.
It's just an outstanding game. We put together all the ingredients of a beautiful night and the type of baseball these fans are seeing, and it's a real treat. 1-1.
Jason Castro all season long, very good in this regard. Keep that glove all the way down. Don't let it creep upward.
Seager at second. Strike to Iannetta, 1-2.
Spotting the fastball. Oh, there you go. Put a few seams on the edge, you got yourself a strike.
Out to center field. Gomez To end the top of the 8th, no runs, a hit, and a man left in scoring position. It is 3-3. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Let's go down the concourse at Minute Maid Park. Find a seat for this 3-3 game. Heading to the bottom of the 8th inning. You don't want to miss this one. Carlos Correa to lead it off. Then Gaddis, then Gomez are due up in the home 8th for the Astros, who led 1-0, and then the Mariners tied it with a 3rd inning run after the Altuve leadoff shot in the 1st. The Astros got a single tally in the 6th to go up 2-1. The Mariners got 3 in the top of the 7th. The Astros tied it with 1 in the bottom half. Now Correa, who's 0 for 3. Looking at ball 1 from Nick Vincent, who came in the 7th inning with 2 men on, 1 out, gave up the RBI double to Altuve. But the big play at the plate on Castro looms large in this game. 2 balls, no strikes. Castro gunned down trying to score the go-ahead run on a throw from Martin, the center fielder, to Marte, and then on to Iannetta. It's 3 balls, no strikes. Carlos Correa has walked 17 times this year.
The same story here. If the Astros can pick up that leadoff walk, you've got a great gift to deal with.
3-1. A lot of room in left center field. Martin is shading about 8 steps toward right center for Correa.
It's kind of been the Altuve story tonight on the offensive side, but Evan Gaddis has had a big swing.
That's ball 4, leadoff walk. Fourth walk of the 9th for the Mariners pitching staff. Correa has 3 steals in 5 tries. Evan Gaddis is 1 for 3, an RBI single in the 6th inning, and that broke the 1-1 tie. Gaddis has grounded into 3 double plays this season and 60 at bats. Marte, Cano, and Lynn. 2 outs, nobody on the second double play in 3 innings by the Mariners. It is just simply called tailor-made. Carlos Gomez has 2 strikeouts and a walk in this game. Gomez tried to bunt his way on, but missed. Strike 1. Mariners have a lefty in their bullpen. And the Astros have somebody warming up. That's Vidal Nuno. And the Astros have their closer, Luke Gregerson. Fouled away, 0-2. With the roster change, bringing Jake Marisnick back to the Astros for this game and sending Michael Feliz on an option to AAA. A.J. Hinch is back to 4 bench players with a 12-man pitching staff now. He's used Tucker and Castro pinch hitting. There's Marisnick, who came out of the game. He still has Colby Rasmus and Luis Valbuena available. And a strikeout ends it in the 8th inning. We go to the 9th, and it's tied at 3.
Tied up at 3 apiece. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. This includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Go to MLB.TV for details. Guys, back up to you.
Cinco de Mayo. Thanks, Bart. Here's Luke Gregerson, the Astros closer, coming in with the game tied 3-3 to work the top of the 9th in 10 games. He is 6 for 6 in saves, trying to just hang on to this one. He's converted his last 15 save opportunities. A tie score is what the Astros want going to the bottom of the 9th.
He's been flat locked down. To me, that's about all you need to say about him. He just shuts it down.
Ketel Marte will lead it off. He reached on an infield hit in the 7th and scored a run. He's 1 for 3. Smashes one foul. There's strike 1 to Marte. Gregerson, with that 15-game save streak, has had the longest streak of any Astros closer since Brandon Lyon had 16 straight saves converted in 2010. No balls, 2 strikes. That did not look like it had a chance to do anything good.
This is something from a softball game.
Okay. Tony Fernandez could do that, though.
He's your guy, huh?
Yeah, he's the guy. Struck him out. 1 out. Steve Cishek is warming up, the Mariners closer.
A major league slider has arrived.
Yeah. It was a devastating pitch for Luke Gregerson. Leonis Martin is 1 for 3. He scored the go-ahead run at the time in the 7th inning. And that goes into left center field. Gomez hustling over, backhanding it. Martin with a big turn. It's in for a single, and with 1 out, Martin is aboard for Aoki.
Pretty nice stroke right there. Just right down, slicing through the baseball. Solidly hit the other way. Nothing you could do other than what Carlos Gomez did, get it back in quickly.
Martin stole a base in the 5th inning. Aoki takes a look down at his third base coach. He is 2 for 3 in this game with a walk. 3-10-0 for the Mariners, 3-7-0 for the Astros. Manny Acta's the coach at third. He managed a long time in the Astros system, former major league skipper.
We all know the Astros are leaving Kissimmee, heading to greener pastures for spring training, but used to be that Manny Acta managed the rookie ball club during the summer. I had the A-ball team down there at that same complex, and so we kind of worked hand in hand together.
Chopped, and that goes foul. No balls, 2 strikes. We had a question earlier on Twitter about the Astros former catchers who have become major league managers. Because, of course, Brad Ausmus is managing Detroit now. Scott Service is managing this Seattle club.
Don't forget Louis Pujols.
Louis Pujols is another good one.
Bruce Bochy.
Yeah. And then you were talking about, you have professional managing experience. So that's been a very fertile training ground for managers. Astros catchers. 1-2. The Blue Jays whacked the Rangers tonight, 12-2. Jay Happ going to 4-0 with a win over Derek Holland. Holland, the loser, is 3-2 now. Holland gave up 11 hits and 11 earned runs in 2 2/3 innings. Runner goes. Big jump. And no real chance to get him unless he overslid the bag. Stolen base for Martin. And the pitch was ball 2 to Aoki. And Martin gets his 5th steal of the year.
Good sinking action on that pitch. Maybe created a tougher scenario for Jason Castro. Did Martin hop up off the bag here while being tagged? Guys continue to do this.
A.J. Hinch is out talking with a home plate umpire, Las Diaz. And he can institute a replay review.
There are a lot of habits, and I understand that, but when you're stealing a bag anymore, the way guys leave that glove on you, you cannot afford to keep popping up like that.
Well, they're going to take a look at it in New York.
It was close. I actually didn't see clearance under the shoe there at the bag, but just the appearance of possibly coming off. Well, that's close.
Ben May is the umpire at second who made the safe call. And it'll be reviewed now as Gregerson warms up. Seth Smith is on deck. It could be a vital call in this game. If the Astros can get an out call there, that means that there's a pretty good chance Robinson Cano would not come up here in the 9th.
Somebody brings up the name Kevin Cash. Was he an Astro briefly? Yes.
Yeah.
So he's managing in the big leagues.
That's another one. Jay Happ now for the Blue Jays is 4-0 with a 2.50 ERA after beating Texas today. And Toronto won 3 of 4 in that series from the Rangers. Rangers are now 15-14. And the Astros have a chance here to slow down this first place Seattle club. call of safe remains after that review. And now Aoki back to the plate with a 2-2 count. We had a question, by the way, on Twitter about if a batter is ejected, we'll say during a 2-2 count, what happens? Well, the pinch hitter assumes that count, and the at-bat continues. Although if that replacement batter struck out, the strikeout would not be his if you're into that kind of thing. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And then we have more guys who caught for the Astros and managed. John Mizrock and Tony Pena.
There you go. Yes. But that John Mizrock did have just a brief turn as a major league manager.
Big 3-2 coming here for Gregerson. And it's ball 4. Aoki walks and Smith will bat. That's 4 walks for Astros pitchers tonight.
Somebody says don't forget about Mark Bailey. Mark has not managed in the major leagues.
No.
And we mentioned Bruce Bochy.
Yes. What a manager. He'll be a Hall of Fame manager.
Yes,
right?
he will be.
Seth Smith drove in 2 runs in the 7th inning. He's 1 for 3 with a walk, and that gave Seattle the 3-2 lead at the time. He's 1 for 7 in his career against Gregerson. Robinson Cano is on deck. And it starts to get dicey. Ball 1. Speaking of Bruce Bochy, saw a quote from him today regarding Tim Lincecum. Lincecum is due to throw for a lot of different scouts representing several major league clubs tomorrow, we understand from stories in Arizona, I believe. He's coming back after surgery and wants to pitch again for a major league club. Bochy said the Giants would be interested, but they would put him in the bullpen.
And I'm sure they would be open to watching how he pitched and see what comes of it. Brownie, when you talk surgery on Tim Lincecum, it's the hip that he had the problem with, and he felt that was impairing his ability to land and be consistent and everything that goes with it. And he feels like he's healthy now.
He was not throwing nearly as hard when he last pitched. Perhaps the hip had something to do with that. But he had lost velocity gradually down through the years. Line shot right field, a hit in front of Springer. Springer gets it back in toward the plate, and it's cut off. The bases are loaded for Robinson Cano with 1 out. Smith is 2 for 4 tonight.
Yeah, the Mariners choose wisely not to run on the arm of George Springer. And now Luke Gregerson has a tough assignment. Smith hits it sharply. George Springer does what you're supposed to do. And there was no doubt about it as the skids go on right there.
Cano hit a grand slam in Seattle against the Astros and drove in 6 in that game on April 26th. He's 3 for 9 against Gregerson. Bases loaded, 1 out. He's 2 for 4 with an RBI in this game. Ball 1 to Cano with Cruz on deck. Well, Cano has 11 runs batted in 4 games against the Astros. 10 career grand slams. And this year he is 2 for 3 with the bases loaded. A deep drive to center field. Gomez way back. It's over his head. That'll score at least 2 runs and maybe 3. Smith around third as the 3rd runner, and the throw from the plate is not nearly there near the plate, so it's a 3-run double. Robinson Cano ripping that one way over the head of Gomez. Seattle taking that 3-run lead now.
He's just a great run producer, and he got another pitch right in the heart of the plate. Sometimes the harder you try on a guy that you know is the run producer, the more you leave something for him to handle.
No Cano there. And 12 hits now, a 6-3 lead for the Mariners. It is Cruz batting. He's 0 for 4, taking strike one. Four more runs batted in tonight for Cano. 14 this season against the Astros in 4 games. It's 1-1. Well, Cano now has 30 runs batted in for the season. This is the 28th game for the Mariners. 1-2.
And I'll bet if there's one of those editorial comments in the clubhouse before you play Seattle, it is don't let Robinson Cano beat you. And yet you wind up with those scenarios, bases loaded there, and you can't afford the walk, and he finds a way.
Pat Neshek is warming up for Houston. Cruz is down on strikes. Strikeout number 2 for Gregerson.
Just that good slider to put away a very dangerous hitter.
Kyle Seager is 2 for 4. The Mariners have their late inning offense in gear. They got 2 in the 7th. They've scored 3 so far here in the 9th. The Astros will have Gonzalez, White, and Tucker due up in the bottom half of the inning. It's ball 1.
Pretty good looking pitch right there.
Yeah.
That's why I would have called it.
Foul ball makes it 1 ball, 1 strike. The Orioles beat the Yankees in 10, 1-0. Zach Britton the winner. Barbato took the loss. The Yankees are now 9-17. Off the plate to Seager. It's 2 balls and a strike. Walks have really played into these late inning Seattle runs. They got a leadoff walk in the 7th inning, and they scored twice. And a 1-out walk here in the 9th inning, and they've scored 3 times. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trevor Bauer and the Indians knocked off Detroit 9-4. Michael Fulmer took the loss. Bauer now 2-0, and he got the start. He had been working in relief. The Tribe will be here next Monday through Wednesday. The Wednesday game's a day game. Somebody made an outstanding play. Mike Napoli at his 5th home run for Cleveland. Nick Castellanos number 5 for Detroit tonight. Both those clubs a game above 500 now. .24 pitches for Gregerson. Tucker's over toward the line and left. In the 9th inning, Seattle comes up with 3. And a big swing by Cano, taking a 6-3 lead. It's been back and forth, but now Seattle coming up with a big 3 spot in the top of the 9th inning. Will call upon its closer, Steve Cishek. Cishek has done very well this season. He's 8 for 8 in saves, and he has a save situation here.
One of those drop-down guys. Long, lanky, makes life tough on right-hand hitters in particular. But you see, the left-handers are not having a feast against him either, hitting just 200, and that usually means some kind of off-speed pitch that will compromise their abilities.
Cishek will work to Gonzalez, White, and Tucker here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Marwin Gonzalez got an infield hit in the 5th. He's 1 for 3. Seattle bullpen, even though dodging a couple of injuries, has been functioning with peak efficiency since April 13th. Cishek a big part of that. His last 9 games, he has an ERA of 0, covering 10 innings with 3 walks and 13 strikeouts. Marwin tries to get it stirred up with White on deck. Mariners about hit the Astros 12-7. No errors in the game tonight. 8 men left for Seattle, 5 for Houston. The right fielder Smith moves over. 1 pitch, 1 out for Cishek. Tyler White doubled and scored in the 7th inning. That got the tying run home. He's 1 for 3. A hustling double to lead off that frame, and Altuve sent him in. Astros would love to get Altuve to the plate here in the 9th inning. He is 4 for 4 tonight. Cishek was born in Massachusetts. He went to Carson Newman College. They strike 1 for him. 5th round pick of the Marlins in 07. They traded him to the Cardinals last July, and then he was signed as a free agent by Seattle in December. It's 1-1. He had 2 big seasons back-to-back for the Marlins in 13 and 14, with 34 saves and 36 tries, and 39 and 43 back-to-back. 1-2 to White. Breaking ball kind of spins outside, and that's the way it usually does with that delivery. 2-2. More of a side-to-side break from that arm angle than one with a lot of tilt, unless he would take something off it. Out to center field. Martin waiting. 2 down. Preston Tucker bats. Tucker struck out in the 7th inning. Pinch hitting for Eric Kratz with a runner at second and nobody out. Nick Vincent went 1 2/3 innings. He allowed 1 hit, no runs, with 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Strike for Cishek. Vincent is in a position to be the winning pitcher. Line shot into right center. That keeps it going. Tucker will hit it by Smith off the bullpen wall and head for second with a 2-out, 2-base hit. 5th double for Preston Tucker.
Timing can be everything in this game and in life. Previous at bat when Tucker came on as the pinch hitter. Boy, how you would have loved to have seen this shot. Powerful man. Take that all year, all career long.
Hit number 8 for the Astros. Jason Castro drew a pinch walk in the 7th inning. Castro with a fly ball to left. Aoki in. And Seattle wins the opener of this series 6-3. The first place Mariners are 17-11. They have the best road record in the American League, 12-4. Former Astro catcher Scott Servais bringing a first place team back to Minute Maid Park, and it extends its lead over the Astros to 7.5 games now. Final score 6-3 Seattle.